I don't know about you guys, but June feels like it went by so fast for me. It feels like it was just the beginning of June. Now it's already July, and that means it's time for an Art Snacks box, so that's not a bad thing by any means because I enjoy getting art supplies. And with this box in particular, I was really excited about it right off the bat because Art Snacks did tease a while ago that this box would include some kind of Daniel Smith watercolor within it. So that's obviously something that is in my realm and something I want to do. So I was very excited that there were going to be watercolors in this one. And when I opened it, I was like, where are they in here? But they were in there. They were just like stacked on top of each other and hidden. So it took me a second to find them. The sticker that came in this box is also really cute. I was really happy when I saw that one because, I don't know, it's just pretty. But the colors I got are Phthalo Blue and Pyrrole Scarlet. These are the 5ml Daniel Smiths. This box also came with a Sakura Pigma graphic pen, and this is the 1mm bullet nib kind, so that's cool because I don't think I own one of those. We also got a General Sketch and Wash pencil, as well as a Princeton Aqua Elite paintbrush, and this one is a watercolor brush in the size round 8, or in the round size 8, excuse me. And this one was funny because the brushes I use on my own are actually the Princeton Velvetouch brushes, which are very, very similar. They're just a different series that Princeton has. I don't really know the main differences in the quality of the brushes. To me, they felt the same, but I already have a high opinion of the Princeton brushes as a whole, and it's nice that Art Snacks included a brush that was not a super tiny size, because more often than not they are super tiny brushes that Art Snacks includes. So I was happy to have a larger size, even though I actually have 2 of the Princeton Velvetouch round size 8 brushes. So now I have 3 round size 8 brushes, which is okay. That's actually the size I use the most just because you can get really fine and really thick lines with one brush. So if you were wondering what kind of paintbrushes I use, since I literally never mention it, those are the paintbrushes I use. My cat also decided to pay a small visit when I was done unboxing all of these supplies, so here's a little bit of footage of Aslan being super cute because he is the star of the show. That is for sure. So when it came to using these supplies, I decided to do it in my Elo sketchbook, which is definitely not the best way to show off these paints by any means. I was considering doing it in my Arteza watercolor sketchbook, but I'm kind of at the point where I just want to finish this sketchbook, so whatever art I can put into it, I'm going to. Even if that means I'm using watercolors on paper that doesn't really like watercolor. And given I have used a lot of watercolor within this sketchbook. It's not like this is something I don't do often. I do use a lot of watercolors within the Elo sketchbook, and it's not intended to hold a lot of water. It's not intended to be really used with any kind of wet media. It's still a multimedia sketchbook, but it's not really a wet media sketchbook. I just like abusing this poor sketchbook. But in mixing the colors, I was very excited to see that it made like a very grayish blue color when you mix them together, and in theory, I want to say I was like, oh yeah, this color reminds me of crows, and that's why I decided to paint crows with this box, but actually, I've been kind of burnt out when it comes to drawing just like people over and over again, so I wanted to do something different, and I decided I wanted to draw crows. And I didn't even realize how well these paints worked for drawing crows until I was painting them and I was like, oh, this is a really good crow color. So that was like a weird coincidence. I don't know if like subconsciously I was like, let's paint some birds, let's do some crows, this is a good crow color. But I ended up painting crows and it turned out okay, all things considered. I have drawn crows like 2 other times in my entire life. So obviously I used Google to reference images of crows because I do not know what birds look like. I cannot draw birds without a picture, otherwise they're gonna look freaking weird. Like, I don't know what crows look like, God, especially crows. They're so cool looking, but I don't know what a crow looks like to save my life, so Google saved me on this day. I also didn't really space them out super well. It was like that awkward amount of spacing where it's like, I could squeeze a really tiny crow in here, but it would probably look stupid, and I don't really feel comfortable doing that, so I decided to squeeze in just some hatching with the water-soluble pencil that this box came with, and then I just painted some like really faint roses and stuff just to fill up the space. But honestly, those 2 things kind of made this a lot more interesting to look at, so I'm glad I did that because now I really like how the spread looks. Not that I really had any problems with it beforehand, aside from just the emptiness of it, but as a whole, I really do like how this spread turned out. I enjoyed working with all of the supplies that were in this box. In my opinion, this one was a much larger step up than the last Art Snacks box because, like, according to the little pamphlet that Art Snacks sends that tells you all the, like, prices and the details of the products, it says that the Princeton brush retails at $21.95, so that alone takes most of the price of the box. I did look it up on Dick Blick, and that brush on Dick Blick is like $11, and Dick Blick is often cheaper just because they are more of like a selling lots of things for a cheap price place. Dick Blick is really cheap. That's the best way. Dick Blick is just cheap. But as a whole, this box definitely paid for itself. Just between the brush and the paints alone, this box is definitely worth it in my opinion. So that's always something that's nice because while the last one was not the best value of boxes, I still enjoyed using it, but this one is definitely something that's more in my realm of supplies. I definitely do see myself using the paints and the paintbrush more. I'll probably use the Micron some in my future, but not the water-soluble pencil. There's nothing wrong with it, I just don't like working with graphite because it's all smudgy and graphite is boring in my opinion, so I don't really work with graphite. So that's pretty much my opinion on this box. I really liked working with all the supplies in this one. If you get Art Snacks and you got different colors of watercolors, let me know in the comment section below what colors you got because I haven't looked on any Art Snacks hashtags, so I don't know what colors are out there. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.